keep it up. Um, I will wait just a few minutes for people to come in. But so how do you? I have to ask though while we're waiting. How do you like Phasmophobia?
It's so fucking.
Uh oh. Hello.
Hello?
Yep. Oh, your picture froze.
Yes, the jaws. That's fine.
Uh oh. Already experiencing technical difficulties.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear?
Uh, robotically. It's okay. All right, we'll wait for it to sort itself out. So, welcome everybody from Salt's chat. Hope you all are doing awesome. Uh, this is not uncommon when two shitty internets collide. We we have this. So, um, uh-oh. You there? Well, this might be a one-sided interview. This might be a text interview. All right. We'll wait cuz might have to. Uh-oh, he DC'd. All right, wait. No, he's coming back now. I'll be completely honest. I'm just glad it's not on my end. Well, the good news is, Zyra, we will have a Q&A at the end. Maybe we might not have the interview, depending on if his internet holds up or not. Um, Here, let me have to change the server. I don't know what he means by that. Um, Top right region. So what? Change it to mine?
Hello? Can you see me now?
There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It's the server connecting with the servers. You know, they're doing some missing shit. I don't know what they're doing.
I appreciate the yeah, the handsome one is back. So, if you ever want to come on the podcast and at least look 10 points better in the attractive level, I am here for those services side by side. You will always look better next to me, I promise. So, but yeah, I want to ask real quick. We got people coming in, but I did want to ask real quick about Phasmophobia, how you're enjoying it.
I mean, like I enjoy it, but like sometimes my flight system kicks in and I just don't want to play it.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I
It's
love
pretty
horror.
fun though.
I love horror games, and the concept of a multiplayer horror game that's actually done well seems like really awesome. So definitely want to. One of my one of my viewers wants to know if you're Captain Jack Sparrow. Um,
Dude, as a kid growing up, I only had a mustache and a goatee, and then like some people wanted me to like go for the. There was like a role for Jack Sparrow's son or some shit, or like I was like, someone told me there was a role, and I thought, oh yeah, I should sign up to it. But yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
pretty much. Yeah, that was when I was a kid. That was a long time ago. I think the new film are they coming out with a new? I swear they are.
Yeah,
I
they
know they're
are.
making a new Pirates of Caribbean, and it's gonna be his son.
Yeah,
I dead ass should do that role, TBH.
go for it. I'd be very excited to see you do some acting, but we'll get into that. As always, I do want to start with I know you had a lot of people come over from your community, but for the people who might be coming from other communities who haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I always think that the guest, better than anyone else, can introduce themselves. So if you want to take it away for a moment, Salt, and yeah, introduce yourself.
I am unsalted salt smile. I am British. I play Overwatch, nothing but Overwatch. I'm addicted. I rage a lot. I am bad at the game. I have an addiction to. I don't go to the gym, but I lie to my chat and tell them I go to the gym. Um, I don't know. I think I get. I'm. Yeah, smile. That's me. Smile. I don't have anything to else to say.
That's okay. That's okay. So I always like to kind of start with some background stuff. What got you involved in streaming? Like, what made you decide to start doing it?
Okay, so this was interesting. Originally, like I didn't hate streamers, but I just thought like streaming was just stupid because you're just wasting a lot of time for something that you might not even get gratification for. Like you when you put time into anything, you become good at it and whatever it is. But like you got to realize if you put your time into something that doesn't really give you anything, what's the point? Unless you get gratification from it, your own gratification. But like with streaming, you don't even get that because you just stare at. Anyway, that's a different subject. Let me not go into that. But um, what I originally got into it, my friend and me would play Overwatch together, just me and my duo.
Okay.
We used to do the most dumbest shit. Like we'd go against Kabaji and we would just start flaming Kabaji, but it wouldn't be like a serious flame. It would be like, oh, tracer gun goes pew 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 or something like that, and he'll just focus us. And then when we would kill him, we'd just teabag him, and he'll get really mad. Like he hates being teabagged. And then like eventually, my friend was like, "Why don't you stream?" And I was like, "Okay, well I'll stream our games." I originally the first time I streamed, like for the first week or two, I didn't have a camera, and then someone joined, and then and then I think Beaver hosted me like a week into streaming,
Okay.
but because I was like, "Yo, Beaver, if we win this game, can you host me?" And he was like, "Sure," because he was going to go offline after that game. So he hosted me, and then some guy donated. Sorry, I got affiliate after he hosted me. Then a week later, someone donated 10 gifted subs,
Mhm.
and if they didn't give 10 gifted subs, I was literally not going to stream again because I didn't really like streaming. But the reason I continued was because they gave their money to me, and I didn't want it to go to a waste. That makes sense.
No, no, I
So,
gotcha.
and now like I'm too deep in to like be like, yeah, let me just leave.
I'm I'm in too deep. I need to find a way out. Like looking for the
But yeah,
exit in a haunted house.
basically,
So,
yeah.
um, from what I have heard you talk about in the past and all that stuff, especially with acting, which we'll go into in a little bit, have you always been an extroverted person, more like outgoing, more open and
Um,
animated?
yeah, pretty much. I think I was in primary school. I was bullied as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
so I was very introverted then. But as well, like with the death of my father, not going into detail, but I was very insecure of myself, of how I would hold myself. Like I would think about every social interaction with guys, especially because I didn't want them to think I was weak
Mm-hmm.
or like I wasn't, one of the boys. But then growing up, like I learned everything. I had to. I would say my teen years, most of them, I kind of grew up thinking, how do I become this man? Like what is a man? And then yeah, and I think through that interaction with myself, like processing myself as a human, I just became extroverted. So I would say I wasn't always extroverted. I was probably like to the age of like, I don't know, 5 to probably 15, 16. That's when I became extroverted after I went to 16, yeah.
Okay. But you know, we have that in common, actually, to a certain extent. My father passed away when I was 13, and afterwards I was kind of looking to get involved into different things. I had grown up in a different religion that was lesser known, so I was always kind of bullied for that. And I ended up getting involved in martial arts, weightlifting, all sorts of stuff, because I guess in a way I was kind of going through the same thing you were, where I was trying to define I wouldn't even say define masculinity, but I was trying to find a way to find something as an outlet for my
Yeah.
emotions, because it's still to this day it's not, even though the stigma is being washed away a little bit, there's still, in a lot of ways, I think, and I'm just speaking from, there's two different cultural perspectives here, because we live in two different countries, but in America, there's still a stigma with mental health and therapy and all sorts of stuff like that. So going through those kind of emotions and not really having anywhere to turn to, I just kind of went and did other things. Um, but well, uh, I tell you this much.
Mm.
As far as that's concerned, obviously I never had a chance to meet your dad, but I think he'd be very proud of who you turned out to be because you've always been an awesome person to me. No, you have, and the thing about it is that there's a level of memery, right, with people. I don't want to say they're portraying characters, but people uh, being more outspoken, being more outlandish to a certain extent. But I've always found that you really determine somebody's character is, so to speak, behind closed doors, in the DMs, however you want to say it. And, I'm just going to give a shout out to Salt here. He's always been very, very cordial, very kind to me, even not really knowing me that well. And he's always been kind to my friends. I know that they meme, on each other and Overwatch and stuff like that, but he seems to really, really have his friends' backs and stuff like that. So, and that's a very, very good thing because not, we won't go into detail. We won't talk bad about other streamers, but there's not everybody in the Overwatch community is like that. Um, Not everybody in streaming is like that. So it is a quality characteristic to have as a person. So I do want to go a little bit back though. What brought you to Twitch in the first place? Did you originally come to Twitch to stream, or had you been on Twitch a little bit before that?
I was on Twitch just solely as a viewer. I used to
Okay.
watch what's his name? Shit. I used to watch the good old days of Greek God X and Tyler One. I used to watch I don't know if any of you guys know, but Grow Score when
Yeah.
he was like a 6K, 7K viewer, like streamer, sorry. I
Twisted
like the
Fate.
good old, yeah, exactly, the good old days of Grow Score. That shit was just so fucking entertaining. But no, I was just originally a viewer, and then I did stream a little bit before then as well, like 5 years ago, but it wasn't like an actual streaming platform where I wanted to grow. It was solely based to stream with my friends, and if there was a funny moment, we'd just clip, you know.
Okay.
Um, Even then, I didn't really stream that much. Only some games, like sometimes.
I'm always kind of.
But
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. Originally, I was just a viewer.
I've always been kind of curious, especially um, from your standpoint, because some people I know better than others. But what do you look for as a viewer, even now? I mean, we can go back then, but even now, what do you look for as a viewer when you're looking for a new streamer, or if you were to pick up a new game like Apex or something like that, and you were to say, you might hate Apex. I'm just using that as an example, but you might say that like, okay, I really want to learn about this game, or I want to find some new streamers to watch that play this game. What would you look for?
So I think if I started a new game, I would just look at pretty much high ranked players only
Hmm.
because I'm learning a new game based on that. Say if I'd never played Apex and I wanted to watch some streamers, I'd watch the good players first, and then I'd probably do that sometimes. It wouldn't be something to I would watch them consistently. It would probably be like a couple matches I'd watch just solely basis of learning, and then I would just break off on that point and probably watch more of a meme streamer. I don't know. I kind of like the type of streamers I like is XQC, probably Moon. He's one of my favorites, but I'm banned in his chat. Feels bad, man. Pepe hands. Um, I actually didn't. I didn't like Fitzy.
Hmm.
Not I didn't like him. I didn't like his streaming content.
No, yeah, no, I understand.
But
That's fair to say.
now I actually enjoy him. You know, like I enjoy watching his streams and everything. Chipsa, I actually can watch Chipsa for hours as well. So I don't know. I just think someone who's just played back. Like I don't think I'd watch myself at
Right.
all. Like I think I would hate watching myself because I'm very too like I'm too much sometimes.
No, you know what? I think that that's fair in that we all critique ourselves to a certain extent. I mean, I found myself the other day, I was playing Overwatch and I was on tank games, so I kind of want to. When I'm on tank, I kind of want to try more than if I were on like Torb or something. You know, I'd care a lot less. And so I was kind of neglecting chat, and I kept apologizing for it. And it's just one of those things where I caught myself doing it over and over and over to, not be as neglectful of chat, and it seemed to be kind of an issue. Um, but I think that what I've kind of always been interested in. So you're a higher level player, um, in Overwatch. Do you think that because there's a lot of people I've seen that are higher level players, but they have lower viewer counts, and I've always wondered, we could strike that up to, um, they don't advertise, they don't, you know, talk to their chat. We could go through these basic lists of things. Something I've always thought that higher level players could take advantage of that lower level players can't is that higher level players have a higher, and I know that they can, this 4.2 or 4.2K player might think that the 4K even player is dog shit or however you want to phrase it, but they essentially do have a higher understanding of the game. And I feel like they could take advantage of being more educational because even if you might think that a 4 again a 4K even player is not very good in the grand scheme of things, they definitely could impart some level of knowledge if they got there on their own merits. They could definitely impart some knowledge, I feel, to a 2.5K player or something. Um, but I didn't know what your thoughts were on like higher level players and maybe imparting more knowledge as part of their stream.
Um, no, I 100% agree. Um, but what I kind of learned from I've watched what you said about a full 4.2 to a 4K. People are gonna talk shit about your SR no matter what it is. Someone could
All right.
have 9 SR more than you, and they'll talk shit. I've experienced stuff where someone said to me, "You're a hard stuck grandmaster player." It's like, is that even an insult? Like you're literally top tier hard stuck. Like how is that an insult, right? And what I would say, I think being educational is good. It does give you a lot of viewers or people want to watch you for that. But you got to realize no matter what you do in your stream, you build your content off of that. When I first started streaming, when I was a 20 viewer to a 10 viewer or 5 viewer, I purposefully didn't play the game properly. I pretty much lost every single game. And that's because I was only talking to chat, looking at chat, and I wasn't thinking of where's Reinhardt positioning, what's his ult charge, where's the Widow, who's on my team, where the healer's positioned. Like there's all these like stuff. Like I keep giving a list of things like what you need to do as a player, right? In Grandmaster. Like you need to keep everything, like as a tank especially, you got to have like a checklist in your brain where everything is. And I wasn't doing that when I was first started streaming, so I lost pretty much every single game. I would probably drop to what 3.7 sometimes, and I would climb off stream on purpose so I can be like GM again, go back down again, climb up again, and that was pretty much my stream. I just based it solely on entertainment. I think paying attention to chat is just way more important than your games sometimes because you got to think of it. They are real people who are there to support and watch you and enjoy your content, and the game is literally just virtual points. Like it's literally that's you gain from it, you lose from it, it happens. But you will always stay at the rank you deserve.
Well, and I think one of your friends is J3, and I remember being in J3's chat back when he had 20 people and he was on Team Renegades. And
Yeah.
and I know several people from Team Renegades, Zach, Prima Dolce, Mangachu, all that stuff. And I know that one of the things that was going on back then was J3 out of all of them, I guess you could say. I mean, it's fair to say objectively, out of all of them, he was the one building his stream and putting the most effort into his stream. And I think that a lot of people who get into competitive games, the only way that they see it is, which is strange because of the fact that they stream it, but I think a lot of them only see it as pro or bust. They don't see it as the fact that they're, I mean, in basketball, you know, in football, in um, every time I say football, I think of somebody in the EU being like, "You bastard." This is real football, you know. But there is a level of truth to that, in that you have to play at a certain level, to even get like a coaching position or something like that. But I think games are one of those things where you can be an entertainer purely and still grow as a streamer. You don't have to be at the top. I mean, there's people that, and I'm not talking bad about anyone in particular, but there's people I know that are 4.4, 4.5K players that might have 10 viewers in their stream. Meanwhile, here's a diamond player over here who has 200 viewers in their stream. And so I think the correlation is the interaction between that person and chat. But if you are a higher level player, I think that you do have a built-in, if or I don't know that you would say inherent because it is a skill set. It's something that you had to work upon, but you do have going into streaming a built-in repertoire that you can use to garner more attention for yourself as a player. And I think that I wish that some of my higher level friends would take more advantage of that. Um, One of the things that I kind of interesting is when you started to climb in Overwatch, and I don't know what you started out as a player. Um, did you start out in diamond or gold or plat or?
So, well, I first started playing the game in season 3.
Hmm.
I I actually did my placements and I enjoyed Junkrat, so I only played Junkrat. So I think it was 10 placements you had to do. Did my 10 placements, I got placed gold. And
Okay.
I literally left. I was like, okay, that was fun. But I kept playing my friend,
Hmm.
who was really bad. He's really bad at like FPS games that require like mechanical management and just stuff like that. So
So FPS
I
games.
basically, yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of didn't play for a season when he played, and he kind of gave up. And then I came back to the game, and I was like, okay, I'm actually going to try hard.
Okay.
What game is what type of character is the most like relatable character I can play? And obviously, coming from a Call of Duty kind of background, I play Soldier. I
Right.
got Soldier to Diamond, and I was like, okay, good. I can get Diamond when I actually try. But then, like, I felt when I played Soldier, I would literally kill 4 or 5, and I would still lose fights.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of boring. And then I transitioned from Soldier to a tank, and I'm like, what tank is most similar to Diva? Wait, what am I saying? What tank is most relatable to Soldier? And I was like, yeah, Diva, because it's a hit scam, right? Who like
Hmm.
goes around mobile just like Soldier. So I went from that to then Roadhog, and then as soon as I played Roadhog, it just clicked. Like I just climbed out of nowhere,
I
and I
was
think
so
that's
hoping
what's
you were
most
gonna say
important.
I went from Call of Duty trying to find my what character was most like a Call of Duty character, and I picked Roadhog. I was so hoping that you were gonna say that, like you just skipped from Call of Duty to Roadhog, and that was the synchronization you had. I By the way, I just want to say this. I was in a stream the other day, and somebody was talking about weird hero combinations. The weirdest one I saw is somebody that two tricked, and the only two tricks that they played were Junkrat and Mercy. And I have never seen
That's
that
weird.
before. I've never seen that one before, so that's an interesting combo. But
It is weird.
I when you started to like, okay, so this is kind of interesting though because you came from a DPS start, Junkrat, which well actually projectile, and then you went to hit scan soldier, and then you went to hit scan tank off tank diva, and then you went to Roadhog, which is still hit scan, but I mean you in going through this kind of progression of hero changes, what were you learning about each? Was it kind of layering upon each other? Were you still learning stuff, or did you have to kind of reset your mentality each time that you learned a new hero?
Uh, I got to masters without knowing anything about the game.
Okay.
So, but that was through Roadhog. Like, so if you're mechanically good, so like if you don't miss, if
Hmm.
you hit every shot, for example, if I hit every hook, healed myself, lived, hit another hook, kill someone else, like it's just mechanics can carry you straight through the game. Like if you look at it like this, a hacker could play Overwatch, right? Give it to a bronze player, they can probably climb to diamond or masters with it. You even a gold player, give them hacks, they can climb to GM with ease. And like, even though their game sense is complete dog shit, they will climb solely based on aim, and
Okay.
that's kind of what sucks a little bit about Overwatch, but it is what it is. But then through reaching Masters, I reached 3.8. I thought 3.8 was high, and that was my peak for a while. And I kind of thought like, what makes a good player? And then I started realizing stuff slowly. For example, I kept pushing in when my team wasn't there. I never regrouped on time. I could have, if I lose two, I instead of splitting up and running away, I could group up with my three other teammates who are still alive, and like kill the person who's overextending. Like there's just these small things that you just start linking, and then you just start climbing and climbing and climbing. And then like I would say is completely different as well. Like there's game sense and there's this character sense. If that makes sense.
No,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
there'll be a whole season where I only played Monkey and I learned Monkey. There'll be a whole season where I just played Zarya and I learned Zarya. There'll be a whole season where I just one trick. I one tricked each hero to where I could comfortably play every hero. I wouldn't say I'm the best player or like best at any of the characters, but like I can pretty much play them all GM level except for Reinhardt right now. Like I haven't played Reinhardt for a while, so I'm complete dog shit at him.
I just want to clarify for the understanding of like the viewers and myself too. But when you're talking about game sense, you're talking about knowing where we should rotate if the Widow's up on high ground or something like that. Whereas character sense, you're talking about knowing if you're, since we mentioned Reinhardt, when a Ryan might start wanting to be more aggressive because he obviously has Shatter, right?
Yeah,
Like knowing what that
100%.
character wants to do, which is interesting because that's for a lot of people, I think that they, and I always make this analogy, and I think it's a pretty fair assessment. I think that they forget that Overwatch, it is an FPS, but it's a hybrid. It's an FPS MOBA. Having ultimates, cooldowns, and all that stuff are key, crucial components. Like there's certain heroes, if you take away their abilities, and case in point, Doomfist, Tracer. I know we all love Doomfist, but still, case in point, Doomfist, Tracer. You take away. Trying to think. Well, Roadhog's a good one too. They become um, they become very you know I don't want to say useless, but they've got their ass showing in the wind. I mean, they become very very vulnerable characters without those abilities. And it was interesting because I came from League of Legends to Overwatch, and I really appreciated the fact that characters like Winston exist. Even though I'm terrible at them, I appreciate that characters like Winston exist because it's the antithesis of what you would think of an FPS character. You would never in a million years think of that being an FPS character. A character
Sure.
with a giant bubble. He's got a "Don't tase me, bro," for a weapon. Um, takes high ground, super mobile for a tank. And Reinhardt is more of what you would think of in a WoW RPG setting of a standard tank. The only thing Reinhardt's missing is a taunt. Um, I don't want to give Blizzard any terrible ideas where some character just jumps in the middle of a group and taunts them and they all attack him and then the Reaper comes from behind and death blossoms everybody. But I think that that's always kind of an interesting thing that's been one of the things that you say, that's got you addicted is one of the things that keep me coming back to Overwatch, even when I take extended breaks from it, is that you can't find another FPS like it. I know Valorant was supposed to be the Overwatch Slayer, but even Valorant became more of um, a CS:GO clone in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Corner watch simulator. So I think that that's always kind of been an interesting element with different things. I do want to ask though, when you were picking roles, why did you kind of, because off tank's what you're primarily known for? Um, why was it off tank in particular? I know we talked about you going from Call of Duty and all that stuff, but what was it about the impact of an off tank player that you thought was so crucial?
Mainly because I failed. I'm one of those people who play what is needed, not what they're best at.
Okay.
Um, for example, I kind of got sick and tired of just losing games because people wouldn't play the correct characters. So I was a filler actually. I played a lot of Anna. I actually had a really good like aim like percentage. It was like 76 or 80 always. This is before they nerfed like the you can shoot enemies even if they don't need healing, like way back then. But I would fill Anna, I would fill Diva. Sometimes I would fill DPS. Sometimes I was just a filler, and that was back then before Rourke was a thing. And then I realized when the DPS role needed to be filled, Roadhog had such a good impact, and then that's when I started playing Roadhog. So it was like Zarya, Reinhardt, and then Roadhog, and then Roadhog would just completely destroy people. And I think from Roadhog, that gave me the accessibility to go into off tank and be like, okay, off tank's essentially just a meteor DPS, but obviously there's different types of stuff that they do. But I think through Roadhog, which kind of the simplistic hook kill, that's really what you need to do as hog, is just hook kill. And then through that, I went into Zarya, and that's when it started developing my brain into an off tank player.
Isn't I mean, wouldn't you say that Hog? Hear me out before. In a lot of ways, is like a widow, where once you get to a certain level of of high tier play, because you see lower tier, like if you were to take yourself, put you in a gold game on Hog, you're gonna kill 5, 6 every fight, right? But the higher up you go, isn't it justifiable in some ways to pick Hog just because you're getting a pick a fight? Like just even that one pick is, huge at the start of a fight. Because I have friends that are high level Widow players, and they'll say, listen, my goal isn't to kill the whole team, but if I can put pressure on the enemy team and get the Mercy every fight, I'm getting my value.
I mean, essentially, the idea of the pick, yes, but you got to think of it like this: Widow can stand anywhere on the map, have a long range line of sight, and you move out of position just 1 second, and she lands that lucky shot. If she lands that shot, they're dead. Roadhog, I have to walk, go behind the flank, make sure they're not looking at me, set up the perfect hook, make sure the hook isn't going to be stunned, slept, eaten, blocked. Even terrain can stop me from, getting that one shot kill.
Right, a
And I think
cactus.
yeah, there's a lot of variables when
Dorado.
it comes to hog. Yeah, that shit pissed me off. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Imagine hooking someone and a cactus is right there, and he's like, what?
so the hook's strong enough to pull Reinhardt in 400 pounds of armor, but it hooks a Mercy and the cactus breaks it. Overwatch physics. Um,
Yeah,
I what something I've always kind of been curious about. We've had some tank players on, but I always like to ask off tank players, especially my selfish motivation as a main tank player. What do main tanks do um, to help accentuate the success of their off tanks?
I think what I really like from one of my main tanks is them being aggressive just as much as I am. If you're going in there playing like a complete fucking lunatic, that leaves so much room for me just to do shit. Like I was playing with Bowie today, and he would probably have 3 or 4 people on him, and then I would just be lasering the other 2 in the back, and I would kill 2, and then eventually, when he's about to die, I have that bubble for him. I think it's just the same as just get everyone's attention. Just go in. Just make sure you go in enough not to die, but make sure you go in enough for them to focus you. I think that's the biggest problem on as off tanks, especially as Zarya. You go one step out of position, or you go a little bit too aggressive, you're dead. Like it's
Right.
over.
Yeah, I've had people tell me before that, at a lower level, lower SR level, like Zarya gets away with a lot. When you go up higher, they will absolutely bust that. Like if you get out of position, they will absolutely bust that bubble just to get to you, and they'll shred you. Like
Yeah,
it
one
doesn't
hundred percent.
doesn't matter like how much charge you have. Like you actually, the more charge you have, the more you become a priority target. Um, and you also reaffirmed something that I've heard over and over again from higher level tank players, main tank players, that your highest value as a Winston or Reinhardt is staying alive. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about kills. Winston will get kill participation because of his cleave, so will Reinhardt sometimes, but the biggest value you get is in getting them to look at you while not dying. Um, and which is harder than it sounds because I feed on cooldown. I don't know why I have a pen right now, but hang on, that makes me look more professional in a bunny suit. Um, sorry. All right, so let's take a step back for a minute. Go back to some of the streaming stuff. Um, so how long have you been streaming consistently for since you started?
I'd say consistently, maybe. Wait, let me look at the calendar. I'd like to say August last
Oh,
year, but that's when I
okay.
actually just started streaming. Um, I'd probably say last year in October or November, around those dates. Probably
Okay.
October.
And as time has gone on, um, have you felt yourself? Because this is something that I've always kind of been curious with each individual streamer. Has it become more taxing to go multiple days a week in a row, or has it become something to where you've built up, um, you know, a at this point, I guess, a habitual nature to it, to where it's easy to process and go through.
So the thing is that questions. I wouldn't say it's a hard question to answer, but it is just there's a lot of layers to streaming. You
Right.
know, it's not a clean cut sheet. You
Mhm.
follow these rules, you become famous or you become a good streamer. Uh, my I would say you do it how you feel.
Mhm.
For me personally, I have to stream every day for me to keep that flow. It's not taxing where it's mentally taxing. It's more taxing as so if I take a day off and I come back, I just feel off. I feel like I'm not like doing the right stuff, or I'm playing bad in the game. I'm not reading chat. You know, like all these stuff that you were mentioning earlier. It's just I kind of lose the momentum of my streams. So that's pretty much why I stream every day.
Mhm.
Um, but it is very taxing for me on other levels where I feel like sometimes I'm not a good streamer, and I feel sometimes I get too angry and I worry about my viewers, disliking me because I get angry sometimes. I worry about sometimes I just don't want to, stream essentially as myself. I'd rather put on a happy face character and just be like, you know what, fuck it, and just and I won't need to worry about it because I would have this character or this sheet of paper that I just follow, and it would just be that simple for me. But for me, it's like every day whatever happens, I just react to it and go along with it, And I think that's very important. Like for me as a viewer, what I it's like, okay, this is weird to say, but when you're a chef, they always say make food how you would like it,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that's the same as streaming. Stream how you would like it as a viewer, Be the streamer that you would like, and that's what I do a lot. And
Well,
I think. Yeah, that's
I
the best
I
for
want
me.
to add an analogy that you can use in the future because you are an actor. George Lucas actually famously said this. He said, "I don't write films for other people. I write them for myself." Um, he does stuff to entertain himself, and then if he's entertained, he puts it out there. Now, some people say, "Okay, well, the prequels suck or whatever," but he puts stuff out there um, first, making sure that he enjoys it. And I don't think that that is in any way, shape, or form something that is detrimental or questionable. I think that that's admirable. I think that if you're in front of camera and this isn't um, a job with customer service, so to speak. I mean, there is Twitch support staff and all that, and we can't break
Hmm.
TOS, and we all know that. Um, and I think a lot of us wouldn't, even if we didn't have TOS. I think we could control ourselves to the point of not being some of the heinous people that we run into in Overwatch Comp that you've had the displeasure of running into, and I have, and so many other people unfortunately have. Um, and
True.
I think that being true to yourself, there's also the famous uh, saying that you try to please everybody, you'll end up pleasing nobody. And
Yeah, exactly.
I think that you want people to come and stay for who you are. One, if you because here's the thing, I've always believed this. If you are a character and you ever and that's what people enjoy and you ever break the character, and how much can you be a character 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, you know and you break the character, are people then going to want nothing to do with you because you're not that character anymore? I think it's much better to be who you are, and if there's something you don't like about yourself, as you're being who you are, you work on that. And I think that that's one of the most amazing and impressive things is to see people. You mentioned earlier Greek God. His weight loss journey has been amazing. It's been phenomenal. Absolutely love to see it. And his good buddy and friend and original duo that he played all the games with, Tyler One. Tyler One was very, 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 very much a very toxic person, the epitome of toxic. And I do believe that he is not that person anymore. And I remember seeing on stream him gifting his younger brother his first set of like 50 subs or something like that, or a couple $100 donation or whatever. And his brother was crying on stream, and Tyler had the biggest grin on his face. And that jubilation is a sign of a good person, I believe. You know, sharing your success with somebody else. Um, and so, no, I don't. I know that you've expressed that feeling before, but since we have a chance to talk in person, I know it's awkward. I don't want to put you on the spot, but putting you on the spot for half a second, you know, I've always liked you. And I definitely see moments where um, you get frustrated, but I'm a firm believer that number one, there's two sides to every story. About the time that you have somebody stream snipe you 3 times in a row to spam, you know, racial slurs in chat or something like that, I think it'd be very inhuman to not get offended by that. I think there'd be something, I don't know how people just like brush that off. Even if it didn't affect you personally, to have your viewership having to witness that, I feel like would be a major annoyance too. Um, so no, I mean there's always two sides to every story, and actually, as they say, the saying goes, three sides. There's your side, my side, and the truth somewhere in the middle. Um, but I think that you've done an excellent job being who you are, and I think that that's one of the reasons you said before we did this, why did I ask you to come on? I asked you to come on, if I can be completely candid with you, I asked you to come on because I think a lot of people worry about being frustrated on screen, being emotional, and I think you are a prime example of somebody who does that and then can be introspective and intelligent about it and say, listen, I might have gotten a little tilted there. I'm going to work on it. going to be, try to improve on that. I think that that's an awesome quality. And there is this misconception that people are inherently, you know, this good and everything that comes their way, they're just not frustrated, right? And just, water off a duck's back and nothing bothers them. And no, I don't believe that. I believe that stuff gets under people's skin and you have to work daily as a person to improve and not let it get under your skin. So I do think you do an awesome job with that, man. I really, really do. I don't mean to make you blush. Um,
Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
but
It's sorry, I was just gonna say it is very. I do look into myself quite a lot, pretty much with everything I do. It's half being, I'm a perfectionist as well. So anything I do, I want to do it perfectly. Same with streaming, but it's not just about that. I used to be a lot worse. When I first started streaming, I used to just say shit and not give a shit about it. But then I realized my words do have consequences. It does upset the other person. Um, at the same time, it's not a nice thing to watch. But like at equally the same is for me. Like I can be emotionally high, and some person wants to piss me off. I will react how I react because I'm a human being, and obviously I'm not thinking with a clear head, but if I'm pissed off and someone's in chat talking shit, I'm gonna ban them. I'm gonna tell them to fuck off, simple and clear. And I do, at the back of my mind, I do worry that people are gonna judge me based on that. But at the same time, it's like, what kind of gives me the confidence to continue, you know, uh, not essentially not changing. That's not what I mean, but like keep, my looking after myself first. Um, it's just that it's about me, because I can't, like you said, you can't keep everyone happy, and you can't.
yeah,
You're gonna be toxic sometimes, and if some people don't like it, they can go away. But it's the same thing, Who are they to judge me because they've probably flamed in the game before, And it's
yeah,
a game at the end of the day. I may be angry, but it's a game. And I've said this plenty of times on stream. You might not get angry at stuff that I do, but there's probably stuff in your life that frustrates you and you get angry at that I would never get angry at. You know?
hmm
Different people have different levels. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're gonna sit there and think I'm an actual bad person, then I've got nothing to show you, nothing to believe you. If you're that gullible that you think this screen shows you who I am as a person just by playing a video game.
right. Well, I'm a firm believer that, and I believe this is applicable to everyone. And somehow this has become a controversial opinion. Um, but a 30-second soundbite, one tweet, uh, one Facebook post. I'm old, so my MySpace post might be up there too. But if that is how somebody defines an entire human being of so many years, it's a very, very insipid and myopic view of the world. It's very, 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 very short-sighted. So yeah, I don't. If somebody judges you, dude, based off of a 30-second clip or something like that, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you how to live your life, but I wouldn't want somebody like that in my life in the first place. So,
No, it's true. I mean,
um,
it goes off as what happened 2 days ago. Someone came in who was a known troll a while ago before, I gained more viewers. He would just say the most dumbest shit and he would just ask the same thing over and over again, just in different ways. And I timed him out and I told him to stop because it's annoying. And then he goes off the back that he's autistic and that he's sorry, that's why he does it. And then I told him that's fine, but you know, don't blame your autism for being a troll and being trying to annoy me. And then some viewers didn't like it, and I just said to him flat out, look, you can't do shit to annoy other people or be a bad person and then just blame something as an excuse as your back foot. Oh, yeah, I did this because I hurt your feelings and I said nasty things about you is because I'm mentally not okay, I'm depressed or something like that. It's just I don't agree with that shit. Don't be a cunt to people and then when it fucking bites you back, you just blame something else. But that's me, you know. Obviously, some people do stupid stuff because they're high on emotion or whatever. But like, at least apologize, you know, and not be like, "Oh yeah, I did this because of this. I'm sorry." I would rather just straight up you say, "I'm sorry, shouldn't have done it." That's clear and cut. And then the fact that I did apologize to the guy at the end if he was autistic, but I told him like I didn't appreciate that he tried to put it in chat in the first place and he tried to make it public and stuff like that when I timed him out for being stupid. It wasn't that deep. Essentially, I don't know if that's saying in America, but it wasn't that deep. And some a loyal viewer of mine who's watched me for weeks or months, should I say, has now left the community because of it. And that type of stuff just brain boggles me how like that one little situation can just make someone leave forever when it was just a misunderstanding between both parties. And I just, as bad as it sounds, sometimes you just can't, you shouldn't care what people think. You know, you shouldn't care about your viewers. You shouldn't care about the people in your chat because when you do, it hurts you mentally. You shouldn't care about the YouTube comments, the Twitters, the posts, nothing. But like at the same time, the one thing I can't stop caring, you know, like I always care for my viewers. If they haven't been in my stream for a while, I will hit them up with a message like, "Oh, you okay, bro? Hope you're fine." But I've learned not to get personally involved. That's one thing. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah,
No, no, no. You're completely fine, and I think that that's something that each individual has to assess for themselves. I think that as you become a bigger and bigger streamer, that it's not humanly feasible to have 30,000 people in your chat and keep track of everybody. It's just not humanly feasible. Um, and but smaller communities, when you see the same 10 people every day, you do start to form bonds and friendships with them, and later on, those people go on to be, a lot of times, those people go on to be VIPs, mods, frequent faces, however you want to explain it, they become a core focal point of your chat and your community, and that becomes the set of values that kind of extend outward from yourself. Because I do believe in a lot of ways that the chats and communities are a reflection of the streamer. And with that being said, there are exceptions to every rule. Um, but if somebody doesn't realize that you're human and you're going to make mistakes and that things are going to happen on stream and that if you make an earnest apology, and you have a habit of showing, there's something called when I was in college, the one of my professors who I ended up working for actually, um, she had this what she would call allegorically the cup of good faith, and you'd pour a little bit of good faith in there, and eventually you would take away from it if something happens. So, for instance, a student was always on time. All right, they always turned their homework in on time. They always showed up for the test. And then one day, for the final, they didn't show up. No email, no phone call, no anything. And then they said, well, uh, there was a power outage at my house. Alarm didn't go off. My phone didn't charge. Everything was dead. Um, can I take the final again? Well, there's some professors that might say no, no matter how well you've done. But she was under the impression that if you had constantly put forth the effort, this one incident should not determine all the, should not be, should not negate all the hard work that you had put in. And I firmly believe that too. If somebody is, consistently kind to me, compassionate to their viewers, and then they do one thing which we can, I think, objectively say might be, foolish or they shouldn't have said that, I'm willing to forgive or take a stance of understanding, and uh, and I think that people that aren't, um, are, again, I use, a different word aside from myopic or insipid, but I think that if we start doing character audits of people, I don't think anybody would be happy with what they would see. I'm just gonna say that. You know, I've said it before on stream. People tell me I'm nice and wholesome and all that stuff, and I absolutely love it. When I was 16, I wasn't that person. I was very outlandish. I was very rude. I said outlandish, standoffish. I meant to say I was very rude. I was a person that the minute that I thought you had insulted me in any way, I was like, well, what do you want to do about it? you know? And I regret being that person. Luke, thank you so much for the raid, brother. I appreciate it. I regret being that person. I genuinely do. Um, but I was that person. And I'll tell you something, though. If I wasn't that person, I genuinely don't believe I would have become a better person later on. Because now I can look back and say objectively what I don't want to be. And I think that the mistakes we make allow us to have, you know, uh, a dichotomy to look at each side and say, okay, these are the mistakes I made. I now don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to go over here and do this. So I'm sorry that that happened to you. But if a mistake was made and somebody cannot, after having been in your community and enjoying who you are and the goodwill that you put out to a lot of people, you really, really do. If their go-to was you made one mistake and they left the community, I say better to find that out now than, I've had instances where 25 years a friendship I found out wasn't what it was. So, unfortunately, that stuff does happen. But I do think that it's awesome that you reach out to people and you see how people are doing. I try my best to do it. I'm only human. I can only keep up with so many people. Uh, and it's one of the things that I wish that there were more of me, right? I wish I had me to stream and then a clone over here to handle the Discord, another clone over here to handle Twitter. Actually, I don't think I want anybody on Twitter 24/7. Never mind. We'll let that clone. That clone can go to McDonald's or something too. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think that a lot of the stuff that you talk about, I really do enjoy it. Um, because you are, truly a very unique person. As there a lot of people bring uniqueness, each individual person, but you are a very unique person. And I've always enjoyed the streams ever since I came there from R's chat. So, but I'm trying to remember how I think you and R were just shit talking each other in a match. I went to your stream afterwards. Um, but I think you all were just saying hairline back and forth, and then I just went to. I was like, all right, well, I will go see this hairline for myself. Um, but yeah, I don't know. All right, so let's we'll get away from the emotional stuff, just for a second. The pen is back. So how one of the things that I've always kind of been interested in, and I really really wanted to ask you about, was the aspect of acting and how big of an interest that's been in your life.
Okay, so I first, when I was in school, I only knew Turkish, so
Mhm.
it wasn't kindergarten, but I don't know what it is, but it was primary school for me for the British lingo. So I was about probably 6, 7, or 8, one of those, and I never paid attention in school. Uh, I was never taught how to do my homework. My mom was very busy with work,
Mhm.
um, and I didn't do schoolwork. I was just a bad kid. I sat in front of TV, watched TV, just a zombie brainchild, dead brain dead. Um, but then they brought in a play which is called Macbeth. Obviously, you've heard of it. It's a very popular
Right.
play. But they brought in a play and they performed it for us, and I sat through the whole thing and I just fell in love, like with the whole thing. And they had questions. You know, they're like, oh, what did you guys see here, or what happened with Macbeth there? And I had my hand up every time, and I think I had a big interest from there. And then I went to secondary school where I actually got to try it. It's mandatory to actually do it, and I enjoyed it even more. I just paid attention. I just loved it so much. It just came to me with ease. Like I was never really good at English or maths or stuff, but maybe because essentially I just never took the time to learn it. But with drama, everything just came to me with ease. And there was a point where I was about 16 and a girl broke up with me, and it really did hurt. Like, it upset me a lot. I think it was my first time with a girl, like I had a girlfriend, and it was the first time having real feelings for her. So obviously, when you have your first, you know, essentially love, and that breaks up, kind of feel upset a lot. And when I went to my drama school or with my drama class the same day, I completely forgot about her. It sounds really bad, but I completely forgot about her because I was just so entranced by drama or learning or being the character. And I knew from that day on, I was just like, yeah, this is pretty much the only thing that makes me happy, that makes me enjoy it. And I can go on for hours as well about why I love it so much, but I don't know, there's something about the art as well, whereas singing, when you sing something, you practice your notes. So
Mm-hmm.
you're like, fa la ha, like those tonal notes. Same with music. If you're doing your music or piano, you have your sheet of paper where you play your notes, you learn, you practice. Same with a dancer where they practice the same moves, to flex or whatever. But with drama and acting, there's no, same as streaming. There's no route to being the perfect actor.
Right.
There's no do one, two, three, and four. Okay, now you're a good actor. You know, and I think that's what's so great about acting is that it's just so unique, and you when you do it yourself, you bring your own uniqueness to it. For example, if you picked up a class and you was in my class and you perform the same character as me, you would have a completely different, vibe or whatever is happening because you're bringing your own uniqueness to the character.
Right.
And I think that's what's amazing about it because you can play the same song as someone and it will be sound the same dance and it will look the same, but then obviously someone might not be as good in a dance. But with acting, it's like it's just different. It's just a different type. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah,
No, as
that's pretty much why I like acting.
as a writer, I do on a certain level. I mean, there are two different forms of art, but on a certain level, I do understand, and that does resonate with me. One of the things I talked about growing up in a cult, and I've talked about that on stream before. Um, and when I would go to this particular religion that I was involved in, didn't celebrate any form of holidays. And so when the kids would be celebrating Valentine's Day in class or Halloween, I was forced to go to the library downstairs in the basement, like it was friggin' the Page Master or something like that. And I had to go down to the library and I would pick up books. And I just, for whatever reason, I took an interest in Greek mythology, um, and the Grimm fairy tales and all this stuff. And I realized later on that it was because it was transporting me to another world. I didn't feel alone. I got to feel um, like I was having my own adventures and stuff like that. While everybody was upstairs having their party, I got to be transported to a different time and place and talking frogs and all that shit. you know, Whatever was going on at the time. And to this day, with writing, it's a very, very similar experience. I get to sit down and place myself in a different mindset and go through different emotions and experiences and kind of learn from that. And I think with acting, it would be a lot of ways in a similar experience. You get to be a different person. And that's a very unique experience, especially once you learn how to tap into that. And I didn't know you sang, by the way. That's awesome. Um, I'm not gonna ask you to sing. Don't worry. Don't worry. I know people get nervous about that on the spot.
No, it's not like I sing. It's more like I did it because of theater,
Musicals and
like
stuff,
the
right?
musical. But yeah, it's not for me. I prefer the most naturalistic stuff,
Okay. Um, just broke
like as
broke
in
my heart. I love
naturalistic to acting.
I
I
love
mean,
musicals.
I enjoy watching them, but being
Right.
a part of it, being there, I can't. I'm really bad at musicals.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll cry later about it. Um, uh, um, what? So, who were some of your inspirations for acting, though?
Initially, it was. It's funny enough. One of your viewers said it. It was Johnny Depp.
Oh, really?
In
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to love him as an actor. Um, but now it's Let me see if his name. Yeah, I think it's James Mac. Yeah, it's James McAvoy.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
one of my biggest inspirations.
Split.
Um, I'd say I don't idolize him. I love his work.
Right.
Um, I just love everything he does. The way he takes these scenes and he develops his characters and how it just seems very real.
Mhm.
Um, I just think he's a fantastic actor. He's pretty much one of the best in my opinion. There's like actors who are uh if you look into the acting scene, there's a lot of actors who are very fake, where you can see they're putting on a character or you can see they're actually acting.
Mhm.
But if you look at James McAvoy, the way he does his acting, you actually feel like he's there as the person, you know. And I would say people like Dwayne Johnson, how people make films for him to be himself.
Right.
It, it's fine and everything, but and it pays your bills. But I don't appreciate that. I don't really like how you're letting it be easy. You're not stretching your acting muscles. And with James McAvoy, he does something different every time, and that's what I appreciate. He doesn't just stay on this one street, just goes down it, and then that's his job. And I think that's why I kind of lost my love with Johnny Depp, because it was more as if he did the same characters pretty much all the time.
Right.
So if you look at Jack Sparrow, he did those films, which is fine. You're obviously playing the same character,
Then
but
the
then
Mad Hatter.
yeah, the Mad Hatter, then the Lonely. I think it was something Rider where he played as like
Oh,
a
Lone
Native
Ranger.
American. Yeah,
He played. Yeah, he
and he
played
was
as
pretty much
Tonto.
the same. Yeah, it was pretty much like it looked pretty much the same, and it was like yeah, kind
Um.
kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. I always like actually one of the actors that I really have a lot of respect for in terms of their variety, Mickey Rourke. Uh,
Okay, wait, let me search up his because I know people's.
the Wrestler. He was in The Wrestler,
Oh yes, I know
Sin,
him.
Sin
Yes.
City, um, Iron Man. Yeah, a bunch of different stuff. Always liked Mickey Rourke. um, some of the older school actors. Of course, you have your greats. Humphrey Bogart and Paul Newman and all stuff like that. But um, I was always a fan of one of my favorite films of all time is Night of the Hunter. And the main character in it is played by Robert Mitchum. And Robert Mitchum at that point had been like your everyday, um, uh, you know, good guy. I mean, he was, oh God, now I'm forgetting the actor's name. Um, who's the actor from It's a Wonderful Life? Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart. Um, that's who Robert Mitchum was before Jimmy Stewart even. I mean, he was the Mr. Rogers of acting, and then he plays the serial killer in Night of the Hunter, and it was such a breach out from what he had normally done, and it was an amazing, amazing role for him. And yeah, I always thought it was great. I always loved Robin Williams when he was doing acting too, because I thought he could really branch
Yeah,
out
he
more
was
than
great.
a lot of people. Russell Crowe and Ewan McGregor are my faves. I definitely like Russell Crowe. Ewan McGregor, I do like Ewan McGregor, but I mean to me he's iconic and locked into that role of Obi-Wan, so it's hard for me to see him as anything but Obi-Wan. Um,
Yeah.
because I think he did such an amazing job. And by the way, somebody actually did a face scan of him and the original actor for Obi-Wan, and their faces actually match in a lot of ways. It's kind of interesting. Um,
That's crazy.
but yeah, the beard is gone completely. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, let me go ahead and talk about this for like 20 seconds. I'm sorry, Salt. For those of you who know, Mama Yon went in for surgery for skin cancer, and I thought it would make her feel better because they're taking tissue away, and so she's gonna have some scars and marks on there and stuff like that. So I thought it'd make her feel better if I shaved the beard, and because she always likes me, you know, uh, as she says, when I have the beard, she's like, "What happened to my baby?" Um, so I shaved because she likes it better. I don't think she's seen me. I don't think I've been clean shaven for like 2 or 3 years. And I got a little bit of a double chin going on now because I'm fat. So I'm losing weight, but I slowly revealed. I went from a beard to like a pre-op neck beard type thing. Like this turkey chin has not been gotten away. Um, I have to go in for lipo, get this thing removed. Uh, but yeah, at any rate, sorry. At any rate, going back to the topic at hand. Um, you know, Going forward, what are your? Because you've kind of talked a little bit about this on stream that streaming is not something that you necessarily have to rely on. Um, as a business or an income or something like that. So, what as somebody that's more um, relaxed in terms of your dependence on streaming, what are your streaming goals like going towards the future and stuff like that?
um, Honestly, I think I'm just gonna keep doing it every day. You know, I'm I'm gonna. My mission isn't to be the biggest streamer. It isn't to be grow as fast as you can. It isn't. I'm very relaxed about it, and I think that's what um gives me more power over my streams more than other streamers, because having that relaxed view on it helps so much, because I don't really have any plans for it. It's just I'm gonna do it every day, enjoy it, and if I grow as a streamer and I make a good income from it, then I obviously will continue it. But again, if I did get somewhere in acting, then I would obviously stream less. I wouldn't stop streaming, but I'd stream less because I'd be
Right.
focusing on my acting, because that's my dreams and goals, and I hope my viewers and my community understands that. But at the same time, streaming is now a part of my life. It's essentially more. It's a hobby, but yeah, I'm hoping. Hopefully, I get partnership, and then from there, what I am planning to do is I want to do IRL streams. I want to set up challenges for my friends and then stream it IRL. I want to do silly shit. I want to do variety more. I want to network with bigger streamers and play with them. And that's pretty much the only reason I've grown as a streamer, I'd say, because I have networked with other streamers who have given me hosts, and I think that's the only reason I've got viewership. But then again, I can't take. Someone said to me that I can't, um, what's the word? Thank just them because I have the viewers because of me. Like the viewers stayed because of me, not because someone hosted me. And that's really cool to think about it, how you've been watching a streamer for so. This sounds really weird to say, but essentially they've been watching this streamer for X amount of time, and then they find me and they're like, you know what, I actually prefer this guy.
Hmm.
I'm gonna stay, and I appreciate that, and I love that, and Yeah, sometimes you just get I'll get a follow and then they'll just sub as well, and it's like wow, and that's what makes me it feels good. It's kind of like an ego boost, but it's not like because of the money. It's more as if they just followed and they want to be like, yeah, I enjoyed this so much that I want to give you a sub. So for the future, I'm gonna keep grinding. I guess if I do get partnered, I'm gonna go into YouTube and everything and see if I can climb more.
Hmm.
But it's not. It's not. I'll use someone example like Somju. I love him to bits. We're bros, so I don't think he'll bother like care about me saying this. But he's very um he what's the word? He's very business like with his stream. He has his TikToks. He has his clips. He puts his clips on Reddit. He does this with it. Like he tries so hard to like branch out, and you got to appreciate that because it's very hard working. But at the same time, yeah, I think for me to grow more, I would have to do that. But since I'm relaxed, I'm more easy about it.
I think sometimes people shy away from using the words, business oriented, as you were saying. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think when you put business over everything, that can be to detriment. But I think being methodical in how you go about growing your stream, especially if that's your goal, you've got to have, a plan of attack, so to speak. I mean, you've got to
Yeah,
have ways to
true.
go about it because you can't just because I know people that put in the 30 35 hours a week and they have the same number of viewers day one, 6 months later. You have to have a plan of attack to grow. You do have to have patience. It's not an overnight thing, that's for sure. Doctor Disrespect, Ninja, all these people that are at the top of the top, um, they've been doing it for 8 plus years. So it's not an overnight thing, but I do believe that you have to have plans on what you want to go about, whether it's, you want to get new upgrades for your stream, new upgrades for your stream equipment, whether you want to switch different games. Um, I mean, I saw more growth in my stream when I moved away from Overwatch. Now I kind of got burnt out on Remnant of the Ashes, um, which I'm going to buy you a copy so we can play sometime, 'cause I think that'd be hilarious. It's Dark Souls with guns. Uh, but I saw growth in that. I played that game to get away from Overwatch. I didn't know what else I wanted to play, and then it turned out there was a huge, very close knit community for it, and I saw a lot of growth and awesome people from that, just by switching that game. And now kind of switching back over to Overwatch for a little bit now that the meta is not completely unplayable for a tank player and completely horrendous. And I know, Hog got nerfed, but there's still something for everybody. Damn it! You know what? It's like a
He's
buffet.
not so bad now.
It's like a buffet. Look, okay, they took away the salad bar, but there's still steak and green beans and everything else. Okay. Um, sorry, but yeah, I think that you got to have a plan of attack, and but I do appreciate that you are grinding, pushing yourself. Networking is always an awesome thing, and I would say something. Uh, Giving credit to people that host you or raid you is awesome, right? The thing to kind of look at is they give you the opportunity, but it's your job to take advantage of the opportunity. They give you the opportunity to meet new people, but it's your job as a person and a streamer to retain those people. That's where you always be thankful and blessed for the opportunities they give you. But if you do retain people, that's on you. They didn't force people to sub to you or retain friendship or anything like that. So, um, but I think we got people wanting to ask questions now. So I
Okay,
think
one second. One
okay.
sec. Sorry, I need to go pee quick
Oh,
before
yeah,
we're
you're
done.
fine. You're fine.
Sorry, I'm cutting off. I'm bursting.
So, and I thought I had a small no, sorry. I heard Salt screaming in a match watching Beaver, and I asked who that wonderful loud man was, and I've been watching him ever since. Oh, there you go. We will ask him about. I've been trying to get him to dress up as Sombra for Halloween. We'll ask him about that, Zyra. I feel like you're memeing me, and I'm gonna have like yelling going through my headset here. But um, I tell you what, while he's using the restroom, if you guys want to throw some questions in there. No, see, it wouldn't be unsalted salt; it'd be unsalted sombra. Um, do you? Yeah, if you guys want to throw some
That feels
questions
so
in,
much better.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to keep you. You had to use the restroom.
I'm back.
Okay. So someone in my community who uh, always asks this of our guests. This is the standard go-to first question we have. Do you prefer the film Megamind or Shrek?
Okay. So I actually love both of those films, but it has to be Shrek.
Okay. And they also want
Um,
to know what you're going to dress up for as Halloween.
so I was thinking of dressing up as Freddie Mercury,
Oh, awesome!
but I was thinking of maybe doing a diva cosplay.
So Freddie Mercury wearing a diva outfit,
No,
or
no, it would be either Freddie Mercury or just a diva cosplay.
okay, I got you. I got you. They want you to dress up as Sombra.
What? No, that's not happening.
Okay.
Sombra is way too.
I feel
I couldn't.
I feel like that'd be a way too complicated outfit. Like any of her
Yeah,
outfits
that's
would
what
be
I mean.
very complicated. All right. Well, uh, Kat think is the one that asked that question. She thinks you're not about Sombra, but about Shrek and Megamind. She thinks you're amazing now. Um, and she wanted to know what your favorite Shrek movie was.
See, first one's good, but it's not. It's still kind of. I'd say maybe the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the second one. But then the third one's really good as well. But I'd say my favorite is the second.
I have so much nostalgia from the first. I usually have to say the first one, but I understand that. I mean, I objectively it's not the best out of all of them, but it's just I have too much nostalgia for it. It's kind of like Toy Story, right? Like I think Toy Story 2 is the best, but I keep going with Toy Story 1 is the first one. Um, well, you just made a new fan. She's extremely happy now that you. Um,
Oh, that's so nice.
uh, Zyra wants me to ask you if you will mod him or her.
Hell no. He is never getting mod.
Okay, uh, breakfast dinner. Which, by the way, hello, buddy. I've seen you in multiple streams. What do you think about the 8+ Star Wars movies?
So the originals were good. Like I enjoyed them, but I haven't watched any of the prequels because I'm so scared of them ruining what Star Wars was, and I
Hmm.
just haven't watched them. I might give them a watch and let you know, but I don't know. It's Star Wars is such a great fucking fantasy world. It's such a great the film, the story, everything. I just loved it. But the prequels, I can't tell you anything about that because I haven't watched it because I'm too scared.
Can I make a recommendation? Compromise.
Yes,
Read the books. The books
of the
the prequels.
okay.
They're actually pretty good. Like I think they're a lot better character development than the movies are. Let's see here. Salt, are you secretly three raccoons wearing a human suit?
I bet someone with glasses asked that, didn't she?
Yes.
No, I am not glasses. Stop.
I feel like that's a reference to oh god, now I can't oh Phineas and Ferb. I feel like that's a reference to that or something like that. Um prequels are not as bad as the sequels. Change my mind. No, I won't change your mind. I completely agree with that as far as Star Wars is concerned. Okay, so here's the thing. And interjecting my own opinion, I think that The Force Awakens was really good. Um, uh, was it The Last Jedi was terrible, and then Rise of Skywalker was good. Force
Okay.
Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, and then Last Jedi. Last Jedi seems like a bad dream that I'll never wake up from. Um,
Is it that bad?
yeah, it is. I mean, they just did so many terrible things with it, and you can't get away with critiquing the film without people saying that, like, you know, you're just an old school fanboy and you're, upset about this. No, it's stuff like they had one of the rebel space cruisers, which, first of all, okay, so here's the thing. Like, this is the type of stuff um uh that like is a pet peeve of mine as far as continuity and storytelling and stuff like that. Okay. The rebels won in the original Star Wars, right? They were
Yeah.
called the Rebels because they were the smaller faction that were rebelling against the Empire. The Empire was destroyed, and the Empire is now dismantled, and the Rebel faction took over and created a union between all the planets. But in the sequels, they're still called the Rebels, and they still have the Rebel icon, and they still call the Empire the Empire. Like it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Like stuff like that just bothers me.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't the Empire now be the rebel? It's weird. Um, yes, he did. He said he is not glasses. He said he is not. Um, she said her browser crashed. Let's see here. Okay. Does anybody have any? Ramos. I kind of feel awkward asking that. I'm just gonna be honest.
What did he say? Ramos is a viewer of mine. He's fine.
Does Salt think that he is an e-prick? Good lord.
What a fucking bitch. No, I do not. That's why I told you to stop doing that in my channel.
Uh,
I keep fucking put my announcements and he keeps fucking highlighting them with e prick.
oh lord. Okay. Did anybody else have any other questions? I have one in case nobody has one. Okay. So wait. All right. Glass wants to know when you're going to the gym again.
Tomorrow.
All right. Good. Me too. Uh,
Nice.
what would be Salt's perfect cooked meal?
Honestly, I think it's a hard one. I'll have too much food. Maybe lasagna with salad and chicken. It's a lot of meat.
No, that's good. Friggin' lasagna's delicious. I've always been a fan of veggie lasagna over everything. I'm not as much I'm not as much a like a hamburger I guess is fine. But I know some people put like ground chicken, turkey, sausage. Also, I just do vegetables. Um, add salt to VIP Gorilla Guru.
Hell no.
I feel like that's not gonna happen either. I feel like all these people at getting me is like the intermediary to ask these questions is not gonna happen.
They're really Papega.
All right. Uh, I do want to ask this one though. Okay. Okay. So hear me out. They make a new
Alright.
Overwatch hero. What would you like to see?
Okay, there's two types of heroes I would like to see. One, a tank that is a sniper, but it's not like a damaging sniper. It's more as if you shoot it, and with that shot, you can displace a CC on it. Like you can basically, for example, let's say you shoot a Farah, it has a minor little CC on her, so it'll stop her jetpacks working for like a second or 2 seconds. I really like a sniper in the game as a tank. Not, it doesn't have to be like a disgusting hero, just like something that can deal with flying heroes. And then the second, I would really like another melee tank, but I don't want a high damaging tank. I would like a melee off tank where it's a loss of CC.
I
And and yeah, sorry, I was gonna say it has a
oh okay.
minor charge, and at the end of it, it grabs someone and then flips them behind them, and then maybe they have like a on hit stun, kind of like Brig, and then they melee. I'd like something like that, and something they can obviously heal themselves or shield themselves with.
I think what would be cool would be to have a character that can like a really like tiny character that can like jump on the backs of other characters and power them up, kind of like what Yumi does in League of
Oh, okay,
Legends.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think that'd be hilarious as a support character. Um, like the whole character itself is a friggin' Zen orb.
That would actually piss so many people off. That would take profiting to a new level.
It would. Um, I'd like to see. Actually, in all seriousness, we were talking about reworking, not reworking necessarily, but like tuning up Soldier. Because a lot of people are kind of happy with some of the buffs that he's getting. But I said on stream that in the current state of Overwatch, doesn't matter unless a DPS becomes Brig, like original Brig level overpowered. Uh, it's going to be still defined by the tanks almost. And so if it goes back, you buff Orisa Sigma, and it goes back to double shield. It's not going to matter how many bullets Soldier has in his gun. He's still going to get wailed on by double shield. Um, but I'd like to
I
really
mean,
see like instead of his tack visor, I'd like to see something called like I know this is going to be a corny name. I'd like to see Super Soldier, where it buffs all his abilities for duration. Like it buffs his sprint, buffs his helix, buffs his heal, so that he can go on that flank and like really I don't know, like really get a good sustained flank in.
I think. Are you talking about like the game, or just talking about Soldier? Because with the game, how it works is the meta's decided with tanks, and then as a tank player, you're locked into one character that you can play for 6 months, and then you want to fucking hit your head against the wall. But then with DPS, you can pretty much do anything. I'd say DPS are very strong. They're probably one of the most overpowered in the game, but people would say I'm stupid and they won't agree with me. But DPS are very oppressive. The way DPS are played, especially hit scans right now, is very, very oppressive. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in the game. But people blame tanks and say tanks are broken just because they decide the meta. That's not how it works, you know. I mean, obviously, heroes that control the front line and have protection of your team will control the meta. That's how it works.
Right.
But then again, at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that the game can be very, very oppressive for tanks against fucking someone who has a mercy staff up their asshole with a damage boost, being shot across from the map and being like, oh, okay, yeah, you shoot me twice and I've already got 100. I've already got 100 health. Yeah, nice balance. Good game. Yeah.
Yeah, I one of the most frustrating things in the world to me, and I just get it's the biggest tilt for me in Overwatch right now, still to this day, is being Winston and like just sitting on a Genji for like a good 30 seconds, but he's got Mercy Beam or Zen Orb, like one of the weakest heals in the game, and I still cannot kill him. Like it's just unbelievable. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
I feel like Winston needs to get a little bit of the Symmetra treatment. Like for like if he's on you for 5 seconds, his gun ramps up the damage or something. Like, give him something to where like, okay, if I'm going to commit this much stupidity by inting on you, like give me something for it. I don't know.
No, I agree. I feel like Winston's very, very weak.
Right.
In a lot of areas. I see they did damage his. I don't think you played Winston then, but his damage was boosted where he could out damage a Mercy Heal. That was very fucking fun to play back then. I think essentially it makes him too strong at the same time. What they could add is something like you said when he does more damage over time. Like at the start when he's doing damage, he does no damage to anything, but then it ramps up and he stays at a level. I think that would be cool, or something where he had lower armor, his gun just started, would pulsate and do more damage. I don't know. Just something. He needs something. I do agree. He needs something. He's very weak.
Yeah, and
But if you play him correctly, then he's very strong at the same time.
he's strong with extremely coordinated dive because they've got all this damage coming in at once. But if Winston is on two targets by himself and gets abandoned by his team, which is an uncommon thing even at the GM level. Um, I mean, for me personally, one of the things that's always kind of aggravated me is that a lot of heroes don't get balancing, or their balancing is based on pre-existing scenarios and conditions that are no longer relevant. For instance, there's been more when Winston was at his peak in the dive meta. There have now been more heroes to come out: Baptiste, Moira, Brig, and even though Brig's not as strong as she was, more healers with AoE healing. So yeah, because the justification was always that Winston jumps on a target, and if he jumps on the two healers and the two healers on a Mercy pocket each other, they're not healing the team. Okay, fine. But now with Baptiste, he can literally throw down Immort if he's in any type of danger, and he can just spam heal his team while he's with you or while he's fighting you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it just gets kind of how about Winston's ability that electrocutes multiple people close together?
That he does. Like what?
I feel like the guy with Gorilla Guru in his name is a Winston player, and I feel like he's trolling us. Um, you know, I even think something like giving him a damage. Um, I think even giving him a damage boost with his jump, like if he lands right in the middle, like if he lands on top of your head.
I think if they gave him an entirely new ability where he has three abilities, I think whatever the third ability is, he needs something else.
Yeah,
I even said they should nerf his jump to where essentially he has two jumps, but using those two jumps is the equivalent of using one jump, like the length of it. Because it would be very helpful if you could, have those two jumps charges. I don't know. I think whatever they decide, Winston will need to change soon because he will definitely be very underpowered, especially the new tanks that are going to come out.
yeah. Make Winston's ult more
No,
damage.
no. He doesn't need more damage on that.
You know,
What he
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say what he needs. I mean, the thing about his ult is more as a look at me type of ult. You can still claim hit. You can still claim kills with it very quickly. You can literally do 150 damage in half a second with him if you do it well. Like if you know how to do it. I don't think he needs his ult changed.
I was gonna say two things about Winston. Number one, if they changed anything with his ult, and I know people are like, why does this guy keep going back to League of Legends? Because it's a MOBA, and you relate it to the MOBA elements of Overwatch, even though it's an FPS. I think if you changed anything about his ult, it would be to where you gave him an ability during Primal that he could only use once, and it was something like that didn't do hardly any damage, but like he slammed the ground with his fist and everything around him got knocked into the air. Something like that. If you were going to do anything to it, but it basically did like Reinhardt shadow damage. It did like 25, 35, whatever it is damage. Like it did hardly anything, and it just like knocked him up into the air, something like that. Um, with like a pretty wide radius. The other thing is too, what might be cool with Winston is, um, and to kind of motivate your DPS to focus the targets he's focusing. In League of Legends, there's a character named Leona, and when she hits something, it puts a passive on it uh, that she cannot deal bonus damage, but any ally that attacks the target that's got that passive on it, they do bonus damage to it. Um, and to have something to maybe where he puts charges on people with his taser after so long, and if somebody hits them, those charges activate and they do like bonus damage. Not a lot, not anything like, 100 damage, something like an extra 15 damage or something like that. But it would be something that, stacks across. So like if you had a Mercy and Ana together, they would both get hit with the bonus 15 damage or something. So, oh my God! All right, at this
Okay.
point, people are talking about giving Winston automatic. you know, um, yeah. So, uh, yeah, I don't think we need to do that. Yeah, charging burst damage, Etain. Yeah, something to uh new mechanics to characters. I don't know why. Laziness. I mean,
They're scared as well.
they're they don't want they're Overwatch has put themselves in a position, and if nobody else will say it, I'm happy to say it. Sorry, I brought you on Salt, and then they put themselves into a position where their player base has dissipated by so much that they have to keep the players that they have. And they're afraid now. They've put themselves in a position where they're so scared of losing a large group of players anymore that they don't want to really change anything. It's why they didn't balance Orisa and Sigma. They nerfed the crap out of him. Realistically, you could have balanced Sigma by taking away his shield, keeping his abilities, and just making him a pure off tank. Um, I mean, my thoughts, anyways. Have Winston wall climb? Actually, of all the characters to wall climb, it would make the most sense, to be honest with you.
True. If Winston could wall climb, that would actually be a good fucking change. Who
Yeah.
said that?
Gorilla.
Yeah, that's so smart. That would actually stop him from wasting his jumps a lot.
Um, just have him hanging off if he could like wall or a ledge hang. Like you just see Winston hanging off the ledge, just drop on somebody. Um, but
Could I say an interesting fact?
sure.
A random thing about me. It's got nothing to do with Overwatch, but since the people are here that actually want to know more about me, I just wanted to drop this. Do you guys remember a game called Monster Evolved or Evolved Monster, whatever it's called? It was about it was a 5-player game in an arena, and one person plays as the monster, and there was 4 hunters. Do you remember that game at all, Yoni? Or you've probably not heard of it.
Um, I don't think I've heard of it. It sounds a little bit like Deceit, but Monster Evolve.
It's kind of like Deceit. It's called Evolve or Evolve, something like that. But when I first started playing that, um,
Oh, this is cool.
I played it for about a month, and I started scrimming with teams, and I was actually going to be on a professional team. And well, they wanted to, look at me, and yeah, when the first map came out, it was like, what's it called? The games just started dying because the best version of the game was about £99, so probably in translation to American dollars, it would probably be like 120, right, or 125, something like that. And the new character, the new monsters that came out, you would have to buy it separately for £8, even though you have the best version.
Dead by Daylight.
It's like, are you kidding me? So we spent this much money where we were promised more characters and monsters. You release a monster that you have to pay separately for, and then yeah, the game just turned into a cash money grab type of game, and then everyone left it. And yeah, that was when I was known as Mr. Vanilla Face back then, when I streamed playing Evolved.
Oh, that's awesome. I also have a fun random fact for you that I think I've said before in your stream, so forgive me. I always love telling people this because it's the funniest thing ever. Junkrat is 6'6". He
Yeah,
is
that's fucking crazy.
he is somebody did the actual math based on his height with him being hunched over in relation to Genji, who is canonically in the comic books 5'9". And he would be Junkrat if he stood up straight. He would be 6'6", and I just think that's the funniest damn thing. Um, so Junkrat is amazing, isn't that right, Salt Gorilla? So, all right. Well, we're getting almost to we're over the hour and 45-minute mark, and I don't want to keep you because I know it's late there. But I sincerely appreciate this, buddy. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. This was
Yeah, I
awesome.
did.
Um, thank you so much, everybody, both from my community and the communities that I know of, and from Salt's community. Um, you all are absolutely phenomenal. As is customary, what we're gonna do, damn it, Salt. What we're gonna do is, because I know you're not going to go back to streaming, right? You're done for the
No,
night. Okay.
yeah, I'm done for the night.
Um, if you want, go ahead and pick somebody that you would like us to raid, and we're gonna send everybody over to their channel. And you just want to
Okay.
type their name in chat.
I'm gonna have to find someone.
Okay,
I
no,
don't
no,
wanna.
take your time, take your time. Dragon, thank you so much for the subs, and earlier Gabriel and Richard, thank you so much for the subs too. I really, really appreciate it. Much love to everybody. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here, and you
Okay, I
know,
found someone.
okay.
That person.
Oh yeah, yeah, Deku. Thank you all for just being completely awesome. Uh, you guys have been phenomenal, and yeah, just super engaging, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Um, oh, all right, Kat, you go. You got one. You got a few seconds if you want to ask him that one last question while we do the raid. Okay, so for everybody who got their new subs, here's the raid command. Here's the Twitter, and here is the Discord. Also, tomorrow night, so the podcasts are every Friday through Sunday. Tomorrow night we have Gage TM. He is a Valorant player. Um, and Gage is one of my buddies.
Valorant.
And then Sunday night we're going to go back to Overwatch. We're going to have Forgiving on. Um, so super excited about all of that. And then October is almost booked up. I always tell people that if you are a streamer and you potentially want to come on, these do book up really quickly, and we're almost. This was I think our 38th episode, so we're coming up really close on the 50th. Been doing this since June. Um, so yeah, it's just amazing. And Kat's last question is, she wants to know if yeah, she put it in the highlight. Do you want to be friends? She wants to be friends with people that are big fans of Shrek and Megamind. So, Kat is one of my awesome community members.
Sure, we can be friends, Cat. Smile.
Um, so much love to everybody. Salt, thank you so much, buddy. Loved having you on. You are amazing.
Yes, no problem. You too,
Um,
dude.
and yeah, so everybody, we're gonna send it over to DPS Deku. Hello, raid message.
Did not go through.
You already have a raid in progress, right? It's not showing up. Where's the
It's just host it if you want. I never raid when I host people. I just
um?
type.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's. Hang on. I can see it. It's not showing up for me. It's showing. Okay, there it is. It's showing up for me on Streamlabs. All right, good. Scuff streamer, whatever. Okay, fine. Everybody say hi to Deku. Um, I've been in their channel before. They're also amazing. So good choice for raid, definitely. Much love to everybody. We'll be with Gage tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. And everybody have a wonderful night. Stay positive. Much love. And we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.